Bears went into Week 14 against Green Bay as the #1 seed in the NFC, only for it to be so short-lived. The Bears lost a close one to the Packers 28-21, dropping them to the 7th seed in the NFC playoff picture, although everything does feel right in the world when both the Packers and Bears are good. Time now to welcome in NFL Network and GMFB's Jamie Erdahl here. Jamie, thanks for the time. How are you?
Absolutely. I'm doing great. This is the beautiful time of year, not only the holidays and whatnot, all the magical joy, but we're like getting closer to playoff football. It's so awesome.
Absolutely. These are the games that really matter now. Well, let's jump right into it because the Bears have been known to play spoiler alert down the stretch, but the magic ran out on that final play against Green Bay. What did you make of Ben Johnson's decision on 4th and 1 there?
I liked it. I know, Kyle Brandt's on our show. He is a native son of Chicago, and he always does a really good job of making sure we understand what is representative in the group chat with him, whether it be his cousins or his college teammates or his high school teammates and whatnot. And it sounds like while the initial blowback was that, Caleb reverted to his old self and he was panicked. I like the play call by Ben Johnson. I think Caleb just misread the situation. And while the Bears' Achilles heel has been their inability to close the door on games, tight games down the stretch, something was always going to catch up to them like this. Do I hate the fact that it happened to them in an important divisional game? Yes. Do I think it's going to take them down for the count for the rest of the season? Absolutely not. So I wouldn't carry panic too much farther than leaving that one in Lambeau.
Let's talk about quarterback Caleb Williams right now. Has a completion percentage of 58% on the season. Against the Packers, of course, he made just enough plays to keep them in this game. Rough first half there, but the Bears lean more on the run, really slowing down Micah Parsons, who did not record a sack. What did you make of Caleb Williams' performance in this matchup?
I think we're still experiencing growing pains with Caleb Williams. Last year was not his best showing, and it was a misfit with the head coach that you had last year. This Ben Johnson thing clearly works, even from a personality standpoint, which I think is second most important to scheme when it comes to head coach and quarterback relationship. Again, I would not feel fearful of the way Caleb Williams plays football. I think he is going to become one of the most glorified athletes in Chicago history. He's got what it takes. He has the skill set. And I think you need a bit of a risk taker at that position if you want to find success. We've seen high spots. You are still going to see low spots. And again, I hate that it came at Lambeau, but I wouldn't even call that final drive a low spot. You're still in that circumstance. You're still in a chance to tie and or win the game. So I've loved watching Caleb Williams play, especially compared to the discomfort I felt watching him play last year in his rookie season.
Yeah, Caleb Williams' second season here in the NFL, first under Ben Johnson. I feel like Ben himself is kind of reshaping the way that Caleb is playing the quarterback position. But again, we've seen him play within the structure, but we also know that when he escapes the pocket, man, he is just so dangerous. So Chicago and Green Bay will see each other again in 9 days. Listen, it's tough to beat a team twice, but especially in such a short span. Who do you like this second time around?
Oh man, I hate to pick games. And I also think that it is hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. And I say that because there's a real possibility here that the way the playoffs line up, you could see the Bears and the Packers playing each other the wild card weekend in the NFL, which wouldn't that be sweet? Probably for everybody except Bears and Packers fans. I'll go ahead and give it to the Bears next time they take on the Packers. I think being back at home, I actually think playing the Packers in such close proximity, just having one game in between the two benefits the Bears more than it does the Packers. They can get right on a quick turnaround. I'm going to give this one to the Bears only because I kind of want to see it be a split decision, and then maybe we could get the gift of seeing them play a third time in January.
Obviously this is a rivalry, but it's so nice that these games mean a lot to both of these teams. Let's talk about this upcoming week because the Bears got to reset. Ben Johnson's message to the team every week has been being 1-0. This is a Cleveland team that also knows how to play in the cold. Sunday's game at Soldier Field is supposed to be one of the coldest games in history. I believe a high of 10 degrees. Rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders coming off of his best game of his career. Browns have a top 3 defense in the NFL. Obviously, Myles Garrett there, 20 sacks on the season. He's chasing that single season record too. And by the way, I know the Browns did beat Green Bay earlier on in the season. So why can't the Bears afford to not overlook Cleveland here, Jamie?
I think that game was a fluke, honestly. It was so early in the season. The Packers didn't know what was up with them that time. And that was a different quarterback team for the Browns. So let's look at this sample size specifically between the Browns and the Bears. The most dangerous thing for me, if I am looking at a Cleveland Browns team coming in, is they are playing for pride on a couple different circumstances. They are playing for pride on a highly controversial, highly discussed, finally getting his starts in the NFL in December of his rookie year in Shedeur Sanders. He is playing for his own pride. The teammates that have his back are playing for the quarterback's pride as well. And then you have Myles Garrett playing for the pride of an NFL history book record-breaking season. That defense obviously has everything going for them. And wouldn't they love to make a name for themselves going up against this dream quarterback situation of Caleb Williams? Look at what they have. A coordinator who becomes a head coach in the division, and oh, it's a match made in heaven, and then bam, here comes Myles Garrett and this defense. So I think the Browns are dangerous because of what they're playing for emotionally. However, I think the Bears could put the stamp on it if they just say, no, you're in our town. As you said, it's going to be freezing. Who knows how Shedeur handles that? I'm sure it feels like he can handle anything at this point. But I think you have pride on the line for the Browns, which sometimes can be very dangerous at this time of year.
Yeah, the Bears 3 straight weeks where they're going to be facing elite edge rushers there. Ben Johnson said yesterday about Cleveland, man, we desperately need to win this. Bears must win at least 2 more to get into the playoffs. How much faith do you have in this team to show up when the pressure is on?
I got faith because Ben Johnson's got this special unicorn kind of energy that he turns on in the locker room. And I like the way he coached. I like what we've seen from his personality in this first season. It keeps us guessing, keeps us on our toes. He seems very invested in his players. Kyle Brandt, who's with me on GMFB Overtime, actually was in Hallis Hall a couple weeks ago to interview Caleb Williams. And one of the quirks that he appreciated about his trip there was that he did not run into Ben Johnson in the halls. Ben Johnson didn't come and interact with Kyle like, oh, this big interview is happening with Caleb, and the head coach is like, no, I'm about my business. And Kyle appreciated it. I thought it was a good story for him to tell about the relationship that not only Ben has with the building, but the focus he has. And I'm not surprised at all he's using that phrase down the stretch, and we need to win these games. Desperate is a very tricky word because you don't want to all of a sudden play desperate type of football. But if you're desperate to make it into the playoffs, you need to tag a certain emotion on this time of year. And we'll see if the Bears can get desperate enough to see him in January.
Well, Jamie, we've got 4 games left on the schedule, okay? The Packers are heating up. The Bears looking to disrupt everyone's playoff path. The Lions still technically alive, and the Vikings, your Vikings, trying to hang on despite their struggles. Who do you actually trust to come out on top and win the NFC North when all of this is said and done?
Oh my gosh, what a question. I don't know what the schedule makers did to us in May when they released this thing, but they must have known something because I feel like every division is like this, but the NFC North is something unique. I mean, why not? I saw that Bears logo on the far left of our playoff picture screen on GMFB, and I'll put that Bears logo back over there on the left side. A couple other losses have to, fall into place for them. But if the Bears are hosting a playoff game in January, let's just say I won't be surprised.
How much of a threat do you think this team could be when it comes to shaking up the NFC playoff picture in these final weeks?
Just as much of a threat as anybody else is this season. 2025 is weird. We keep covering this on GMFB Overtime. We can't quite get our grips on the handlebars of this season, and it's cool that way. You got Phillip Rivers coming out of retirement. You don't know what is happening in the NFC South. What is this Panthers team? The most comforting thing was that the Rams were really good, but then they lost to Carolina. The Eagles, what is happening there? The NFC is razor thin. You started this conversation saying the Bears dropped from 1 to 7 in a matter of a weekend. We can't believe that this is how this unfolds.
All right, Jamie, thanks so much for the time. We always appreciate your insights.
Absolutely.